Hey guys, how you all doing today? And today we'll be watching Hannibal Season 2, Episode 1. And the last episode, Season 1, Episode 13, stabbed me in the chest 5 million times. I loved that final scene between Hannibal and Will with the song from Hannibal in the movie Hannibal back in 2001 when Hannibal's in Florence and he is being followed by a detective. Um, it gave me goosebumps, and I was so excited to check this episode out. And the best way to describe the last season is brilliant storytelling, but poor fucking Will. Will is a victim that I want to hug and just say, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, Will. It's going to be okay. And Hannibal, his smile at the end just tells me everything. And what you guys said in the comments has made things really interesting. Apparently, there's a plan that's even further than him just being in prison, being in the hospital. There's something further, something in terms of a relationship. Now, I have had when I watched like the first 5 episodes, in my mind I was saying to myself, is there like a platonic vibe here? Is there like a vibe that is more than just curiosity, more than just friendship? But yes, the last season was fantastic, and you guys are saying it only gets better from here. So I'm just so excited right now. I got my black coffee, and I've started the first episode. Kaisika Kasaki. Season 2, Episode 1, okay? If you want to check out my full-length reaction to this episode and to all future episodes when I do these next season or two, I don't know how many seasons, next 2 seasons, then you can go on my Patreon, and if you want to see what I do next in terms of movies, and if you want to see full-length reactions to movies I've watched on this channel, go on my Patreon too. And if you want to see what I react to next in terms of show or movie, also you can do our Patreon by voting. So without further ado, let's motherfucking do this. Let's start Hannibal Season 2 for the first time. Meet. What a surprise. Hello, Hannibal. There's Jack. I like you can see him through the knife. That's pretty neat. I like that. Jack looks really pissed. Well, he knows. He knows. Great fucking fight, man. Come on. I assume Jack's realized he's a Chesapeake Ripper. Oh. Ooh. Oh. Damn, Hannibal. You slick. What the fuck? He's turned to a WWE match. Oh no, he ain't dead. Jack's 12 weeks. What? He can't show us that fight and go 12 weeks behind. Fuck you. Hey, we got someone to look forward to now, baby. We know that Jack's pissed. And he has this. That fight scene was glorious on so many different levels. It actually felt like a real fight, by the way. Damn, Hannibal is slick. Oh my god, Hannibal. Nice suit. Looking dapper.
This course is called Bukozuki. Seasonal sashimi,
Oh, so
sea
strange.
urchin, water clam,
So strange watching them together now, knowing what happened.
Beautiful. According to Will Graham, this was all you.
Will was your bloodhound. You can't ignore where he points.
I'm not ignoring it.
He doesn't believe Will, doesn't he? When he says it's Hannibal.
You have to investigate me. It's
Fuck's sake.
in my best interest. And yours.
Yes, it is. But I also can't ignore the fact that my bloodhound went mad before he pointed in your direction.
We can't define Will only by his mad gestures.
We can't define Will at all.
Does Hannibal know eventually shit's gonna open up? He does know that day's gonna come, doesn't he? He does know. Fucking Chilton. This son of a bitch.
You're my patient now.
Douchebag.
I'm not talking to you, Frederick. I want to talk to Dr. Lecter.
Ah. That's supposed to be Hannibal, isn't it? God. It's gonna be so interesting now. Watch their dynamic, knowing the truth. Now that Will knows the truth about Hannibal. Because it was frustrating at times in the first season where you didn't know and he actually trust him, but now it's gonna be interesting.
A federal examiner is someone who arrives at a battlefield after the battle and bayonets the wounded. You have wounded Agent Crawford. Who do you think is going to be getting the bayonet?
Ha!
There is a general desire to see this go away quickly and quietly. In light of that, Dr. Bloom, I would greatly appreciate it if you would recant your report.
Jack knows the deal. He knows. It's not unfair of Bloom to do that, isn't it? Let's be honest. Because he was pushed too much. I get it, because he wanted to find these killers. But Jack doesn't deserve most of the blame. A little bit of it. Ugh. I knew they were going to find a dead body. Just knew it. Oh, multiple. There's multiple.
I miss him.
I believe that.
You are obsessed with Will Graham.
I'm intrigued.
Obsessively. And he will take advantage of that.
Will is my friend.
Why?
Does Will still view Hannibal as his friend after what has happened? I love Will's hair, by the way. I love it. My hair looks the exact same when I grow it out, but I don't look as good as he does. God damn it.
Dr. Lecter.
Oh.
Lost in thought.
Not lost. Not anymore.
Friendship can sometimes involve a breach of individual separateness.
You're not my friend. The light from a friendship won't reach us for 1,000,000 years. That's how far away from friendship we are.
I
I imagine it's easier to believe I'm responsible for those murders than it is to accept that you are.
Sure.
He's playing these games. Oh.
I'm going to remember, Dr. Lecter. And when I do, there will be a reckoning.
Go get him, Will.
I have huge faith in you, Will. I always have.
You go, Will. You go, man. See, Hannibal's still trying to play that game, but Will, I'm proud of him. I'm like a proud. I want to say dad because he's older than me.
I was hoping you could help me with the psychological profile.
Found another body.
Took Will's position.
You make models of things that you want to keep. These were tossed in the river.
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't perfect.
So maybe they do have
These are
some
his
more.
discards.
Yeah.
I got to be Will Graham today. I consulted at an FBI crime scene. I stood in Will's shoes, looked through his eyes, and I saw death. How I imagined he would see it.
You maintain an air of transparency. Well, putting me in the position to lie for you.
Yeah, because
Again.
she knows things.
Jack Crawford doesn't know what you're capable of.
Neither do you.
Hannibal. Ooh. He's creepy.
Come on, come on.
She's looking after his dog. That breaks my heart. She better not die in this fucking show. I can't wait for the day that Alana actually realizes what Will is saying is true. Because Will's thought process is as clear as day now. Ugh. But the irony is, no one believes what he's saying. That is so weird. Abigail's here. Ugh. There's Chilton.
Salted and ash-baked celeriac.
Hannibal gave him that look like,
Forged
bitch,
tissue.
you're an arsehole.
Frederick, you have
He asked her to hypnotize him so he could recover his memories.
You fucking
She's
dick.
delicious.
Was he successful?
Only in playing Dr. Bloom.
He's
It's sad
using
that
Chilton to
psychiatrists
find
fall
the...
for such hoary. He tells everyone that you are a monster.
Well, in that case, you are dining with a psychopathic murderer, Frederick.
Ah.
You have nice skin.
What the fuck? Ah, they're gonna put you in the boot. Who's this? I think it's Ginger. The guy looks ginger. Skin, isn't it? Obviously, they all have skin. What I'm saying is, they like. I don't know. I don't fucking. None of them are old. Actually, one's old. Actually, I just realized. God, I'm a terrible, terrible FBI profiler.
It's a color palette.
Hey, it's Jonathan Tucker, the guy from the Kingdom TV show. If you guys haven't seen that, it's on Netflix. It's really good. He's eating that meat. He's gonna think of Hannibal. Oh my god. Why are you imagining this, Will?
I understand why you felt you had to file that report. You questioned my judgment when it needed to be questioned.
Yes, it did.
And it will help in Will's defense if it's in the record.
I'm glad he's not taking this personally.
Declaring Hannibal's guilt is more important to Will than establishing his own defense.
Hannibal's not guilty.
Neither is Will.
You know that man whose classroom I walked into months ago?
I remember that man.
2 months ago. A lot has happened since then.
Memories are all I have. Imagine
That's what Hannibal said in Silence of the Lambs.
Stumble.
We investigated your claims about Dr. Lecter, Will, thoroughly. We went over every fiber of every stitch of clothing. We took his DNA. We took his fingerprints. We found nothing.
You let the fox into the henhouse.
You stood over Cassie Boyle's body in that field and you described yourself to me.
Oh, I described Hannibal Lecter.
I can't hear this anymore.
I am not the intelligent psychopath you're looking for.
Goodbye,
You may not believe me now.
But you will
You
soon.
will.
Yeah, you fucking will. Oh, he misses Will, he does. Doesn't he? Look at him. You guys are right. Hannibal feels a certain way towards Will. Oh, this sick bastard. That's a great shot. Oh, they all did except for him. That's some like Jeepers Creepers shit, that is. That was episode 1 of the second season of Hannibal. And I'm proud of Will. He's sticking to his guns. Hannibal is trying his best to play with Will, still trying to play that game of him. Oh, it was you, Will. You know, unfortunately, Alana and Jack still, oh, they don't buy it, and obviously Hannibal is thorough, making sure he has no connection. He was thorough when planting the evidence against Will, so I'm sure he was thorough with himself, with his making sure there's no DNA. And yeah, he is by far the craftiest person I've ever seen in my entire life. But it's still heartbreaking. It's still annoying watching Jack and Will in that last scene, the scene before the last scene, and how Jack does not want to hear it. But this is great storytelling. It's building to that moment when he realizes, poor Will. Will was right. And unfortunately for Will, his mindset's clearer than ever. He now knows the things he needs to know, but unfortunately, no one believes him, including the person who wants to help him the most, Alana. And despite that, I still believe Hannibal wants to help Will, and I think he even misses Will as as it was before, and that dynamic now is just brilliant because you have Hannibal who views Will as a friend, and Hannibal wants to play this game with Will still, and Will wants to tell everyone how much of a monster Hannibal is because he is so sure in himself. But in this episode there were so many references to Hannibal in Silence of the Lambs with Anthony Hopkins and Hannibal and Red Dragon. For example, when he says "memories is all I have," I know he says in the Jodie Foster movie, "Memory Agent Stone is what I have" instead of the view. There's many references to those movies when they do try their best to not poke fun but pay homage to Anthony Hopkins' Hannibal when he was behind the cell. So I like those moments too. And this new killer of some sorts, like, it gets weirder and weirder. These new cases they start, and having these bodies, these like perfect models all stick together. It's hot. That's nasty. That last shot was nasty. And for the first time, is this part of a bigger story? Is this going to go throughout the entire season? Because it wasn't solved in this episode. So, because in the last season, a new case was every episode, and it was solved in the end of that episode. So this is a new format, which I appreciate. And Hannibal was in Will's shoes in this episode. He was the FBI profiler, and I could tell he enjoyed it. And his psychiatrist said it best. He is obsessed with Will. He is. And I'm sure Will is obsessed with Hannibal, but in different reasons, as of right now anyway. But I love that scene between Hannibal and his psychiatrist. She knows what he's capable of, and he had some, indirect threats thrown at her a couple of times. And like, if she doesn't lie for him, I feel like she'll be et for dinner. I don't know. There's some interesting concepts going on there because obviously Hannibal saved her when she was attacked by a patient. I'm sure Hannibal was behind her attack anyway, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. It's Hannibal, for God's sake. But I'm glad Alana is looking after the dogs. She's staying true to her words. She's not giving up on Will, which I love. I love Alana as a character. She's someone who, she's the goodness in this show. While Hannibal, even though he has his good moments, he's the devil. He is what Will sees. That fight scene, the elephant in the room is that fight scene in the beginning. I'm happy that they should put that there to keep us engaged now, to find out what happened afterwards, because he stabbed Jack in the neck. What the fuck happened there? That was a badass fight scene, and I think even though the fight scene was fun, I'm looking forward to that moment when it clicks. Yeah, when it clicks, that when Jack realizes Will was right. right? And Hannibal was behind all this. He was a Chesapeake Ripper. He was the copycat killer, and he was behind everything with Will. And Will was the poor victim in all this. And I can't wait for Lorne to find this out. And I gained some new respect for Jack in this episode. He knows he fucked up with Will. He knows he pushed him too far, and yet, you know, if I didn't, if I knew that Alana would be filing a report against the FBI and Jack, I would have thought Jack would have took it really personally, but he didn't. He understood because he knows he plays a hand in what happened to Will. Obviously, most of the blame goes to Hannibal, but Jack deserves some of the blame for introducing him to this madness and introducing him to Hannibal. Only if imagine if Will just had Alana as his psychiatrist the entire time. Imagine how different that would have been. But we want to have this amazing show anyway, and even though this is all happening, and even though I'm hoping Hannibal gets his comeuppance, it's so fun to watch Hannibal on screen. He just commands your attention, and his scenes with Will, when he's trying to make Will believe it's all in his head, but Will knows for sure Hannibal's behind this, he's the monster. It's just a badass dynamic, and I can't wait to see where this goes. That was my reaction to episode 1 of the second season. And if you want to watch the full length reaction to this, you can go on my Patreon. And if you want to watch full length reactions to the future episodes, or even the last episode I did on the finale of season 1, go and check out my Patreon. If you want to watch full length reactions to movies, do the same thing. And if you want to see what I do next, you can vote on my Patreon. So, yes, it's been a pleasure, and I will see you guys in the second episode of season 2.